Hello, and welcome to the Interstate Gamers Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin, a.k.a. K-Slugs.
My name is Peter, a.k.a. Deal For Real, and I'm also your host.
Hell yeah, and we're back. We're back. Who knew we'd be back so soon? What are we doing back? I thought we were on a break, Peter.
Well, see, we lied.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I lied just now. I seem to do that a lot.
Yeah.
Go for the fake outs. But anyway, we are doing at least a couple inter-season episodes to kind of keep providing some good content while we are taking our break in general. You know, giving ourselves some time to play some games and prepare ourselves for Season 3 so we don't have to jam it all into the actual season time. We did this between Season 1 and 2 as well. So if you're an avid fan, then you know the ropes. But yeah, we've got a couple ideas for little bonus episodes, if you will, and this is one of them. Kev, what's this bonus episode going to be? Because I actually don't know. I'm a total dummy.
Well, if you would read the title, Peter, it is a fan appreciation episode.
The title doesn't exist yet, Kevin.
Well, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And
okay.
Our fan, our avid fan that has come on the show today is none other than Simon Webb, a.k.a. Sweb22.
Howdy. Kevin is right. Simon is my name. Most people know me by that, but my secret agent name is, I can't tell you.
Oh, okay.
Shit.
Also go by Swebster93 on the Twitter machine. And I'm also known as the executive producer of the Interstate Gamers.
Yeah, he is.
That was a really good use of getting all up in the mic. I appreciate that.
You have no idea how many times I've rehearsed that in my head.
Self-proclaimed executive producer, I might add. But you know what? We're okay with it.
Yeah. Every single decision we make, we run by Simon first. And he says yes to all of them. So he's not really doing much, but it's a symbolic role. It's kind of like the president of China or whatever.
Except not every game is Star Fox.
That's true.
Wait, we're not reviewing Star Fox?
No, that's not.
I'm out.
Well, guys, we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're here to kind of appreciate you as a fan, and we want to thank you for being a Patreon subscriber. We greatly appreciate that. That means a lot to us.
Of course. I really like the show, so a little bit of money every month, if it helps keep the show going and the awesome content, it's money well spent.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we're just going to kind of get to know you. You know us, kind of. I mean, you know me really well. We know each other, but we want the listeners to know you, one of our biggest fans out there. So we thought we would kind of ask you some questions, really just appreciate the love that you have for us.
Say it slower, Kevin.
The love boat.
Yeah, so does that sound good?
That sounds terrific.
Sweet. Well, Peter, would you like to start us off?
Sure. So, Simon, my first question for you is, what are some of your favorite games?
My favorite games. Well, Kevin knows this. I'm definitely a Halo guy. Actually, Halo Reach was the first Halo that I owned, but I remember going over friends' houses and playing the first 3. My mom wouldn't let me get M-rated games until I was older. But I love Halo. Some of the early favorites would definitely be Banjo-Kazooie, Ocarina of Time, the Pokemon colors Pokemon's on the Game Boy Color. Man, those are the big ones that have come to my mind. I played Modern Warfare for a little bit. GoldenEye, got a lot of love for that. The OG first-person shooter.
Yeah.
I feel that, brother.
Yeah. So you really are a big fan of the FPS genre.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you an avid Fortniter fan?
You know, I did get on a Fortnite kick for maybe 6 months, even bought a couple of the season passes. I really, really liked the Halloween season. Those skins and the challenges were pretty fun.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I really like you really like Halloween. You wanted us to do a scary episode, right?
Oh, I did. Y'all even gave me a shout out. I think it was around that time about how we were going to come back around, probably this Halloween of 2019 and do one. But yeah, I wanted to see if we could do a horror game because there are actually some really scary horror games and, it's just 'tis the season.
Well, Simon, we're like big scaredy cats, right?
Well, yeah, but that's part of the fun, the adrenaline rush.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Every time someone looks at me funny, I just cower into a little ball. So I might have to go through some like pre-therapy before I even think of opening like a Resident Evil or a Slender Man or whatever.
So that brings a question to my mind. Why do you like horror games? Because me personally, I just don't get it. Like, I don't even like horror films. Like, I just don't like it when things jump out at me. And especially video games, when you're so immersed and you're interacting with the world around you, how could you possibly not pee your pants when playing these games?
Well, you just have to, first off, you have to go to Walmart or I don't know if can we say brand names on the air?
Yeah,
absolutely. They'll sponsor us, in fact. So go crazy.
Yeah, sweet. Well, if you go down to your local Walmart TM, you have to buy some Depends first.
Check. I've already done that.
I think what you said, about why you don't like them is why I do like them, because in a video game, you can be so immersed and get into that world and kind of become your character. I mean, a lot of horror games are more of adventure puzzle solving games, or as Resident Evil is kind of FPS, where you just shoot your way out. But the ones I've played, it's not Left 4 Dead. That's not horror. I think it's called What Lies Beneath, or it's something along those lines. But it's a puzzle game where you're in an insane asylum, and
gosh.
And then the second one is also an insane asylum. It was free on Xbox Gold games. But like I said, your character may get a revolver with 6 bullets, and they always joke, they're like, save the last one for yourself.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, a little bit morbid there, but I think that's it. Like, you have the immersion of these worlds that have a lot of detail, and they incorporate a lot of the same elements of horror movies, where the lighting is very deliberate, where like you're only going to see this one thing and everything else is like pitch black. The sounds are accentuated. There's the pop out scares, and then there's the actual gameplay of trying to figure out whatever ridiculous thing you're trying to figure out. But then you get the scares, it's like, imagine, the puzzle solving of Zelda, but then they're also trying to make you pee your pants.
Ugh, no way.
So I think that's why I like it, because it just, adrenaline probably honestly is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is kind of related to the question I'd asked, but what are some games that you're playing nowadays as compared to like your all-time favorites?
Work has put a hamper somewhat on games I'm playing nowadays. I've played Fortnite. I actually went back and was playing an old game from my PlayStation 2 days called Conflict Desert Storm. I downloaded it on Steam, and I don't know if I just suck now at video games or it's harder than I remember, but I'm having a hard time beating the first mission.
Oof. I remember that game. That game's really fun.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It has a lot of squad-based stuff. It was one of the first games where you had a lot of command over your squad, over the CP soldiers that were with you, instead of just dumb computers that shot at everything. You could tell them to go here, lie down, shoot, don't shoot, protect this person.
Yeah.
And the missions were pretty realistic feeling. You're not some super soldier that's just a bullet sponge and never dies.
Bullet sponge. Just eating those bullets.
Yeah.
Well, kind of bringing things back to zombies, because that's always a good topic. So I wanted to ask this question. I actually have it written down. But let's say the zombie apocalypse breaks out, and there's a magical arcade machine that grants you any power or item from a video game. You only get to use one. What are you using, and why?
So does this come with unlimited ammo?
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to have to go with a minigun.
A minigun. From which game?
Shoot. Probably from I call it a minigun, but it's the big gun on the back of the Warthog from Halo.
Gotcha.
A portable version of that.
Yeah, they have the handheld version. You could break it off the turret. I would pick that because it shoots a big bullet. It shoots them really fast. And if I have unlimited ammo, man, you could just mow down a horde.
Yeah. You didn't want the Gauss cannon?
No, because the rate of fire is slower. And you have to deal with, you have to kind of plan where you shoot that. You don't want to, explode everything.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. As you could tell, I would die in a zombie apocalypse. But if I were in a zombie apocalypse and I needed to bring a weapon, I was kind of thinking about this, and I think I would bring the Mario Bros. Hammer. Like, there's no stopping that thing. And you could just constantly, swing it.
That is true.
Because Mario never gets tired. Or is that Mario or is that the hammer? That's what I'm wondering.
But so they don't ever put the hammer down. That's the thing. The only reason you drop it is because it runs out of juice.
Yeah, you're right.
So you're like constantly in the mode.
Once you go hammer, you can never go back, so you better use it wisely.
Yeah. You created your own living hell with that.
Or you could have a friend strategically knock you unconscious with something.
And that's just jump on your head.
Yeah, hit me, Simon, hit me.
Just count on them to have your back when you're in a time of crisis.
Yeah. Peter, what are you bringing?
So you said, did you say abilities as well, or just weapons?
Yes. Yeah, abilities.
Okay, well, I'm going to be a dummy and cheat, and I'm going to say the invincibility cheat from like any game ever.
Star power?
I'm just kidding. Oh, star power is not bad.
Yeah.
Unless you had like the music going the entire time.
Yeah, I was just saying, if you have to hear the jingle, then it's the same thing as Kevin.
Well, as long as, maybe if I had a bag full of stars, and I could just, or if I had a little power block full of stars, and I could just hit it whenever I needed one, and it would last for however long they last in the games, that wouldn't be too bad. So you could still have like some control over it. Failing that, though, I was thinking about a more traditional weapon. And I was thinking maybe the RCP-90 from GoldenEye 007. It's a gun that has a very high rate of fire, very accurate, large magazine, which is nice even with infinite ammo because you don't have to change it out so often. It's got like some sort of armor-piercing quality, so it can get shit done. And you can even have two of them at the same time, so I don't know if that's legal in this question, but I feel kind of boring saying another gun, but I will admit this question caught me off guard a little bit, so I'm not super planned out.
Yeah, what if you had to use like the same aiming system though when you had the gun, like as back then?
I mean, it's not too bad. I like the aiming system. I'm used to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I would die
if I have to attack while I'm moving. I'll just strafe and swing my point of view up and down and just deal. Like we did back in '97.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. I think that was a really good question.
Way to pat yourself on the back there, Kevin.
Yeah. I think whoever asked that one
genius
should get a raise.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm going to add another dog to the Patreon.
Hey, I've got a question for you, Simon.
Okay.
Is there any like gaming news you're excited about?
Oh, yeah. I mean, for Halo Infinite to come out, it's supposed to come out this year, right?
Yeah, or I don't know. Good question.
Oh, well, I'm excited for more details. The trailer was cool. It's a little ambiguous, just like it kind of felt like an announcement for one of those Planet Earth Discovery Channel things. And then it's like, look at all these animals. Oh, and Master Chief,
and Master Chief.
But that I'm pretty excited for. I guess whatever comes out at E3. E3 is always a fun conference to just hear random news from.
Is Halo Infinite going to be a mainline Halo game? I'm not familiar.
Yeah, it is supposed to be the sequel to Halo 5.
Okay.
Which was stupid because they didn't do co-op, but it's neither here or there.
That's a deep scar for Kevin.
Well, it's back. My experience with Halo is actually playing with Simon, and actually our freshman year of college, we would open up our door to like everyone, and like anybody that wanted to come in and play Halo with us, we would just sit there and play Halo 4. Anybody that wanted to play Halo with us could, and we could play co-op even online, not just like in a campaign or something like that.
Yep.
So I really enjoyed that, and to me, that's kind of what Halo is, like more than anything. It's people just getting together and playing this game and having fun, and I feel like they took that away with this one.
Yeah, they kind of did. They got rid of the co-op and even just the single player. So that was a bummer. Oh, I think they're supposed to announce maybe just a general announcement, but about the next Zelda maybe it's supposed to be this year as well.
Oh yeah, the remake of shoot, Peter, help me out here.
Link's Awakening.
Oh yeah, Link's Awakening.
Well, there's that, but I think there's like the next one, like original after Breath of the Wild.
I haven't heard of that. I'd be shocked.
I think that's a rumor. That's a rumor I've heard.
Yeah. But rumors make headlines. So
Yeah.
True. That's true.
If that's true, or if there's some truth behind it, I'm excited, but I am quite skeptical.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to catch up if it's true.
Yeah,
You got to beat that Batwa.
I know. I've got that Amazon gift card sitting on my desk, and I still haven't done it. I'm just putting it off for no good reason, as I do many things.
So the next question I wanted to ask was, it's kind of another one of these questions. It's, okay, so you're trapped on an island. Another no way out scenario.
Damn, Kevin.
With only one game to play.
Oh,
What is it?
this is difficult.
Is it Halo?
No, Halo's way too repetitive. With only one game to play, for some reason, I want to say either the newest Grand Theft Auto. Side note, I've never played it, but I know it's huge. That or Minecraft.
Good choices.
And also just because it's so huge and there are so many different things you could do with it. I imagine any game would get boring, but that one,
Yeah.
there's just a ton of options with what to do and explore. And since the game is always like, you can't run to the edge of the map in Minecraft. So
Yeah. Yeah. So basically you want a game with like infinite possibilities, or at least close to it.
yeah, I think there's only so many teabags you can do in Halo.
When you asked the question of Simon, I was thinking about my own answer, and I made a list of like my top 10 games I would take on a desert island, which is, a much more lenient way to ask this question.
Yeah.
But if there's only one, I agree with Simon's choices. I've played a little bit of GTA 5. I could see myself being fairly happy with that on a desert island. Same with Minecraft. But I'm thinking of games that like I know and love, games I know like the back of my hand. If I could play any of those on a desert island, and maybe I'm thinking maybe Tony Hawk's Underground.
Ooh.
Because there's so many, like, that game is so freaking customizable. Like, you can make your own parks, your own skaters, your own tricks, your own skateboard decks, your own goals. I mean, you basically have all the tools to make your own game within the game.
Wow. That's really cool.
It's pretty nuts. Another answer from me would be Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, I feel like that's a game you could just get lost in. I mean, how I remember Kevin being like an hour late to record that episode because he was so engrossed in it. Not to throw shade, like it's just a funny little factoid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good choice too.
Yeah, for sure. Some games that are kind of in the top of my head. I'm kind of thinking Mario Maker, maybe.
Ooh.
I think that would be
yeah.
pretty cool because you could just like change it up in any way. But there's also the fact that at the end of the day, it's still kind of Mario, so it might get boring to some extent. Some other games that come to mind are that haven't been said already. Fallout 4, I think I could keep playing for a good amount of time. And I also thought of Just Cause. You remember that game, Simon?
I know it sounds familiar. Remind me.
When Travis and I would play it, he and I would come up with these things called Just Cause challenges. And what that was is you would just pick the craziest thing to do in the game and you would do it. And then if you could do it, basically it's like horse. The other person would have to do it.
What kind of game is it though? I'm not familiar.
It's like an open world. It's like GTA, but a little bit crazier. Like they add like you have this huge grappling hook that can like latch onto something. And you're just like, let's say you put a grappling hook on a plane. You're just like hanging back from the plane. You're just like zooming up to the plane and you can hijack the plane while you're on it. It's nuts. So some of the things we would do would be like, all right, I want you to take this commercial airliner. I want you to grapple onto it, fly it upside down over another plane, jump off, and then grapple onto the plane below.
Jeez.
So I feel like you could come up with a lot of things with that. And the new one that they came out with has like a weather system. So there's like random tornadoes over the map. So I'm like,
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
I might have to get this game.
Yeah, I kind of want to get it. It's been escaping me, but that's something that comes to mind.
Yeah. You reminded me of another answer when you start talking about you and Travis. I would definitely highly consider Ark.
I was just thinking about that too.
And when you said like the crazy, ridiculous challenges, Ark has so many different ways to play that game. And the fact that, you basically build your own world, and they're constantly, adding new dinosaurs and new tech that you can change to. I would definitely block you and Travis from ever being able to play with me. Peter, you don't know this, but our last days of college, and actually I think it was after I graduated, I would get on Arc and I would try to get Kevin and Travis to play with me. And every time I played with them, it was Kevin and Travis against Simon. Yeah. And they would sedate me or use the pterodactyl and pick me up and drop me over the top of the pit of megalodons. And
oh, yeah.
It was awful.
How rude, Kevin. How rude.
Hey, we like to, experiment a little. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, good times.
They have Arc on the Switch now, don't they?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think they do. Interesting. Might have to look at the reviews, see how it handles.
I wrote down that you only get to tell one embarrassing story about me, so you used your one. I'm sorry.
No.
That's it. Well, I've used most of my questions.
I got a couple more.
Okay, yeah, Peter, hit us up, man.
Yeah, well, these are more related to the show. Because I do want to talk about us for a second, because I'm just, very self-centered.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So, Simon, I've gathered you listened to at least multiple episodes of the show. Maybe not all of them, which is totally fine. You don't have to listen to everything.
I think I have listened to maybe all but one or two.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. There was a time I was driving to Austin. I just powered through 6 of them.
That's how you do it, man. I've never marathoned our own show, nor do I really want to, but
yeah, it just sucks.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, do you have a favorite episode?
A favorite episode? I definitely liked the one where you had Ryan talking about Metroid. I've never played any Metroid, but it was just a good episode. Definitely the Star Fox episode for personal reasons.
Of course.
The Majora's Mask, and the most recent one, I enjoyed. I've played that game a little bit. I've never beaten it. It was just ridiculously hard, I think, whenever I tried, and I just got fed up and quit. But
I think you told me you really enjoyed the episode with Katie in it.
Yeah, I did. It was cool. It was cool. I mean, because I know you and Katie personally, and so it's neat to hear her on the show, and now that she's your fiance.
Yeah.
But it's also cool just to hear the girls talk about video games. The stereotype is that girls don't like games and they're kind of above them, but that's honestly not the reality of the women in gaming is a huge part of the industry. And so hearing them talk about their own opinions and their favorite games and hear her break down whatever game y'all reviewing that week is cool.
Yeah, I agree, man. In other news, Peter, you got any more questions?
Yeah. Simon, you got any requests for a game for us to talk about on IG? Not Star Fox.
Dude. Dang it. Because there's I think there was a Star Fox 2 on Game Boy Advance. Or
Star Fox 2 came out on the Super Nintendo Classic Edition from a few years ago. There is a Star Fox game on the Nintendo DS.
That's right, DS.
Yeah, generally people think it's not great. It's not a traditional game, and whenever things break tradition, they're kind of controversial. Actually, that game is pretty similar to Star Fox 2, so in several ways, but yeah.
So games I would like to request. Well, I feel like it would have to be maybe Season 4, since you just did Majora's Mask, but definitely Ocarina of Time. I know I requested GoldenEye, and it was vehemently shot down.
Really? By Kevin? Must have been by Kevin.
Yeah, it must have been by Kevin. I believe the quote was, "It did not age well."
Well, that is true. That is a fact.
Yeah.
I don't think that means I was shooting it down. We didn't have it planned for the season.
Gotcha.
Simon, we might have something that'll make you happy though, coming soon.
Okay.
No spoilers, but
yeah, I think so.
No spoilers. Definitely the horror game, just for the season's sake. What else? Maybe some more indie games. I know I've thrown to Kevin Toy Soldiers.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one.
And then the the Sarge's Heroes are the Army Men games.
The good news on the indie game front is that now that we both own Switches, we're definitely planning on some indie games, and some are even queued up for the season. So in that regard, you shouldn't be disappointed.
Ooh, yeah, I'm excited because those, are pretty accessible for everybody.
Yeah.
But I would say that, and man, I wish I could have made a list.
Oh, don't get too demanding.
Oh no,
this is not a. I know you're our executive producer and all, but this is not a binding conversation. Disclaimer. So,
gosh dang it, Peter, we had to do the legalities first.
Yeah, and then of course I would say Halo, but I know there's so many to pick from for that.
Yeah. Well, cool, Simon. I think it's about time for us to wrap up here. We're approaching our self-imposed time limit, which we are very strict adherents of. But man, I've had a lot of fun talking to you. Simon and I don't know each other very well, for all the listeners out there, but we have met in person during my recent expedition to East Tejas.
Beast Tejas.
And I do like Simon. That's why I agreed to have him on the show.
Aww.
Simon, I hope you and I can continue to be good friends in the future.
Yeah, I do too, man.
I'm envious of the relationship that you and Kevin have, but I got to share my boy around.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for those that don't know, Kevin and I have known each other since I was in, I think, 6th grade at least.
Junior high somewhere.
Peter, you don't know this, but so when Kevin was a senior, he would text me and he would write me these really goofy and sappy things on Facebook. Like he posted a picture of a Pokeball and he was like, "Simon, return."
I did do that. Oh my gosh.
You did. You did. And he wanted to go to Baylor so bad. And then he came and he visited and he was like, maybe it's not too bad. I remember eating dinner with you and your dad at the Applebee's that I don't think exists anymore. But you're like, yeah, actually it's not too bad. And you came and checked out the dorm I lived in. And then lo and behold, like 5 months later, he's moving in with me.
I'd forgotten about that. But I remember when I had texted you that. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Peter, you can edit this out, right?
Oh, no.
I'll keep all the crucial bits. Don't worry.
Yeah. But, and so all that being said is that Kevin and I just have time. And so your and I relationship, Peter, will just get even better and better and better with time.
Yeah. And I look forward to that.
Aw.
Before we close out, Simon, do you want to, you mentioned your Twitter handle earlier. I don't know if you want to plug that again or any other social media, any of your projects.
Shout outs.
Yeah, shout outs, whatever you want.
So I've got my Twitter handle I'm doing finger guns, but y'all can't see it. It's Swebster, and that's with 2 B's, 93. And then my Instagram is, I believe it's Worldwide Webb. Also, that's 2 B's again.
Ooh.
I think
93.
That's a dank one.
It is a dank. It's dank. That's why I got lucky with that name. Yeah, Worldwide Webb, 93. I don't post nearly as much as I do, but yeah, give me a follow. I comment and interact with the Interstate Gamers Twitter a lot, mostly Star Fox trolls, but I do some actual input.
I do kind of want to put a disclaimer on what Simon just said. He has an Instagram. He used to think having an Instagram was lame, but when he first got on Instagram, he would do beer reviews, and actually him and Brandon, my roommates from like sophomore year, they used to do beer reviews like in journals and stuff like that. And then y'all included Aaron at one point when you were roommates with him. So I think that's honestly where he had gotten the idea for the beer review podcast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that last semester, Aaron and I lived together and he did a few with me.
Yeah.
So it's possible that the Eastie Boys owe Simon and Brandon thousands of dollars in royalties.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I can go back. I've got some Instagram posts that can hold up in a court of law.
There you go.
Cool.
Well, cool. Thank you for joining us, Simon. We've definitely appreciated having you on the show. This is a really fun episode. So I'm glad we got to do it.
It was all right.
Thank y'all for having me. No, it's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the new season and hearing y'all dissect all the new games and lots of content and aesthetics. I can't do it.
Takes practice.
Yeah. Takes practice. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, cool. We're excited as well. But with that, I think we're going to close out the episode. As always, you can follow us at the IG Cast if you don't already. Chances are, if you found this podcast, you already know where to find us, but we're really on every single network thing you can be. I've done a good job of doing that. But Twitter is where we're most active if you want to keep up with our thoughts on things, mostly my thoughts, but sometimes Peter's thoughts.
Hey, before we stop the recording, I can actually plug some of my music real quick. I got some music news.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you who don't know, I produce different types of electronic music, and that's one thing I love to do. And I've got some new songs coming out on my friend's pretty small internet record label, so not a huge deal, but pretty exciting. It's coming out on February 28th, so by the time this episode airs, you'll already be able to see it. My artist name is Pete RW. That's Pete space RW, like initials kind of. If you Google that, you can find some of my tracks. I'll have some new stuff, some like really fast tunes with a lot of fun percussion, kind of a dark atmosphere, because that's something I like to do sometimes. If you're into that kind of thing, I hope you enjoy it. So feel free to check it out if you so desire.
I know I enjoy your music a lot.
I will check that out. I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, I'll have to send you some links, Simon. Do some. Hey, that'll be a good way to further our positive relationship. Is for you to tell me how much you love my music, even if you don't actually.
Oh no, I like EDM. Send it over.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's my little personal plug.
All right. Well, with that, I think we can sign off. So thank you guys for listening, and as always,
Love you too.
Love you too, guys.
See ya.
All right, see you later.